Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. I am so glad to be back. I have been gone for about 3 weeks now. The last several videos have all been pre-recorded, so hopefully you enjoyed all of those, but I'm back now, and this is the first video I am posting and finishing up after my vacation back home to see my family. I had a wonderful time, but I am so ready to get back to cooking. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We're gonna make some pretty easy chicken recipes, so let's just go ahead and get on into it. First up, we're gonna make these crack chicken quesadillas, and I did just share the recipe for this crack chicken a couple videos back, but I just wanted to show you how you can repurpose it. If you missed that last video, here's how you make the crack chicken. I am adding in 2 chicken breasts, along with half a package of ranch seasoning, and then 4 ounces of cream cheese. Once all that's in there, I'm just going to add the lid and let this go on a low heat for about 4 hours until the chicken is all the way cooked. About 30 minutes before the chicken is done, I am going to start cooking some bacon. I only cooked about 3 pieces of bacon because these slices seem to be so thick and also very wide. Usually I would probably use about 4 to 5 slices of smaller ones, but these ones I really honestly did not need to use any more bacon. I went ahead and browned that up, and when it was all done, I just chopped it up into nice small pieces. Here is the chicken after that 4 hours. It was perfectly cooked and very easy to shred at this point. I just used a nice big fork to shred that right in my crock pot. I didn't really see the need to take it out. And after shredding it, I am adding in a little bit of dill. I really like to elevate the dill flavor. That makes it extra good to me. So I add about a half teaspoon of dill, the chopped bacon, and about a half cup to 3/4 of a cup of shredded mild cheddar cheese. Go ahead and give that a really good mix together, and then we will start working on the quesadillas. Over onto my griddle, I'm just spraying that down with a little bit of nonstick spray, or you can use a skillet, whatever you prefer. I just think it's easier to make them on a griddle, plus you have a lot more space to work with. I took a couple spoonfuls of my cracked chicken mixture and I just added that onto half of a tortilla. Over top of the chicken, you'll just want to sprinkle it with a little bit of mild cheddar cheese. You can add as much cheese as you'd like. I just like to add enough to get the tortilla to stick to the chicken. Now I'm just folding that over, and we're just going to brown this up on both sides, and once it's browned up, it's ready to go. I just like to use a pizza cutter to cut those up, and then I also like to serve these with just a little bit of ranch dressing for dipping. The ranch is really nice to have to dip these in, especially if you're eating these on day 2 or 3 when they've dried out just a little bit. But like I said, I just wanted to reshare this recipe because we had enough to where I needed to repurpose it again, just because I had so much left over. I will link the other recipe below for you if you're interested in the sliders I made with this recipe. But either way, both of these recipes are really good, and quesadillas are always a really great way to use for leftover meat like this. Next up, we're making some Alfredo chicken French bread pizza. I made this my first night back from our vacation, and it was so nice to have a home cooked meal after lots of fast food on the road. You know how road trips can be. I started by preheating my oven to 400 degrees, and then over into a skillet I did just add about 3 slices of bacon. I'm gonna go ahead and cook those up, and once they're done, I am just gonna set those aside so I can chop them up. Now I am going to reuse this pan. I removed some of the grease out of there, that way my chicken would not be drenched in grease. But the grease will give your chicken a really nice flavor, so that's why I decided just to go ahead and use that. I lightly seasoned my chicken with some salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and I'm just going to cook this through all the way. This is only 1 chicken breast. I just cut it in half, that way I could make it go a little further. While my chicken cooked up, I did just go ahead and cut up 1 Roma tomato. You will notice that I am not going to be using the center of the tomato where all the seeds are. I like to try to avoid the seeds with this recipe just so my French bread pizza doesn't get overly watery. There is a little bit left on the tomato that I'm cutting up, but it's not that much, so it's totally fine. Then I am also going to just chop up 1 green onion. Now that my chicken is all the way cooked through, I am just going to chop that up into little tiny pieces. Now that everything is all ready to go, we're going to start making our French bread pizza. Onto my baking sheet, I have 1 loaf of French bread. I went ahead and just sliced that right down the center and laid it out on my baking sheet. Now I'm taking some Alfredo sauce. You can just use the jar or make your own if you want to and have the time. I'm going to put a good amount of that on my French bread and just spread it around to completely cover the top. Next, you'll just want to take that chicken that we chopped up and add that right over the top. I just tried to spread it around as evenly as I could, but yes, you will want to use the entire chicken breast. Now I am adding on some mozzarella cheese. I like to use the whole milk mozzarella for this. It just melts a whole lot better. I used about 3/4 of this bag, but you can add as much or as little cheese as you want. Now for the Roma tomato, I am only adding this onto half of my French bread pizza. My husband is not a huge tomato fan, so I went ahead and just left that off of one side for him. I'm going to add this into the oven and bake this for about 12 to 15 minutes until the cheese starts to lightly brown on the top. If you don't like your tomato cooked, you can also add that at this point. I like my tomato to be cooked on this, so I went ahead and just put that in the oven first. And then once it comes out of the oven, you can go ahead and add your bacon on and the green onions. And then to finish it off, you'll just add some Parmesan cheese. I'm just using the sprinkle kind, but you can also use some fresh Parmesan as well. And then I just added a little bit of basil over the top. Somehow I accidentally deleted the last clip of this video, but I just wanted to show you right now, this is what the French bread pizza looks like when it is all done. We both really enjoyed this one. I'm really sorry I lost the ending clip, but if you've never tried this before, I would definitely suggest trying it. It's very good. And now we're gonna make this jalapeno popper chicken. This was so good. We both love this one as well. I did just go ahead and preheat my oven to 375 degrees. Over to a skillet, I cooked up 3 thick slices of bacon, and then when those were done, I just went ahead and chopped those up. Over to my cutting board, I have 2 larger jalapenos. I'm just using my knife to get the seeds out of those and clean them out. If you are not comfortable using a knife to do this, you can just use a spoon. Now that the seeds are removed, I'm just going to chop these up into nice tiny little pieces. In this small bowl, I have 4 ounces of softened room temperature cream cheese. I'm adding all of my jalapenos in there and about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I'm just getting this all mixed together and we're going to set it aside for just a moment. Into this 8x8 baking dish, I'm just spraying it down with a little bit of nonstick spray. Next, I'm adding in 2 chicken breasts in here. These were pretty small chicken breasts, honestly, but you can use 2 larger ones. It doesn't really matter. I lightly seasoned these with just a little bit of salt and pepper. You don't need to go too crazy, Most of the flavor for this chicken is going to be coming from the toppings. Now go ahead and add that cream cheese and jalapeno mixture over top of both of the chicken breasts. Try to spread it out the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just adding a little bit of this mild cheddar cheese over the top, about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup over each one. And then this is going into the oven to bake for right around 20 minutes until the chicken is fully cooked through in the center. Once it's done, you can go ahead and just add your chopped bacon over the top. And if you have green onions, you can also add that on top of here. That's how I usually finish it off, but I did not have any on this night. Here's what the chicken looks like when it is all done. This chicken is delicious. I love it so much. It might not be the healthiest recipe ever, but it is definitely super good. And I just went ahead and served that with some mashed potatoes. Thank you guys so much for watching today and coming back for another video. Don't forget to leave me a flower down in the comments if you watched all the way through, and I will see you guys back here next time. Bye!